Welcome. I'm feeling great because we got a killer show for you tonight. I'm glad you're here to share it with me. I'll be back in a minute, but right now it's time to check in with our news team. Let's see what on earth is happening. Paul, Caroline, enlighten us.
Good evening, I'm Paul Wilson.
I'm Caroline Schlitt, and this is the news. After dumping Marla Maples this past week, Donald Trump has a new lady. Her name is Kim Alley Cat Alley. She's gorgeous, she's a model, and she's 21 years old. Many would think that Donald, a middle-aged casino owner, would have the good sense not to hit on 21.
And from England comes the story of their newest superhero. It's a guy who calls himself Captain Flash. He actually dresses up in a mask and in a leotard with a cutout hole in the seat of his pants. When Captain Flash finds wrongdoers, such as overbearing bosses, he basically flashes them his rear end. Well, sounds suspiciously like Prince, doesn't it? Now, Captain Flash's arch enemies include cold weather, thumbtacks, and, of course, Sandpaper Man.
Well, according to a poll conducted by Harper's Magazine, 30% of American men say they've fantasized about having sex with a fictional character. Of course, that was before Alf got canceled.
Now let's go over to one of our favorite fictional characters, Eric Boardman, with a commentary.
Thank you. Now, as you may have heard, the Milli Vanilli lip-syncing case has been settled. A Chicago judge has just ruled that deceived fans should receive partial refunds. Now, according to the agreement, the record company will refund $3 to CD and video purchases, $2.50 for concert ticket stubs, $2 for cassettes, and $1 zop toward an album or a single. Now, of course, that's good news, but think of the precedent this case sets for other disappointed fans. I mean, what will the court give me for what they call new Coke, or the stack of beta videotapes that I have, or my 8-track tapes, or my share of the stealth bomber? Heck, this thing only is 40% undetectable, so I say the government owes me 60% of my taxes. Shouldn't there be a refund for being conned into the theaters to see a Richard Pryor, Gene Wilder film? Okay, well, Silver Streak, but everything after that, somebody owes me for. What about movies where Jamie Lee Curtis is supposed to be naked and isn't? Or what about The Punishment? Yeah, what about Punishment for Crooks, who forced me to wear leisure suits in the 70s and eat aerosol cheese? Or The Evil Empire that sells ant farms to kids. Now, I had 3 of them, and not one showed a profit, even with government price supports. Well, what about the Comet Kohoutek, or Halley's, or Haley's, depending on where you live, or the Hubble telescope? Aren't we owed something for that? The list of injustices is long, and the refunds will enable us to retire. There's peanut butter M&Ms, Bobby's Dream on Dallas, McRibs, any group labeled the next Beatles, or actresses called the new Carole Lombard, Space Food Sticks, Read My Lips, No New Taxes, and the entire decade of the 80s. They just weren't funny, so pay up, okay? Thank you, Paul. Back to you.
Eric, I have just 2 words for you, caveat emptor. And continuing that concept, actor Tom Laughlin of the Billy Jack films has announced his intention to run for the Democratic nomination for president. When asked if he felt that he was out of his league, since some view him purely as a washed-up actor from the 70s, Laughlin said he didn't know. You'd have to ask his choice for Secretary of State, Elliott Gould.
Now, did you know the House of Representatives have their own bank? It's true, but evidently it's not doing so well. House members bounced over 4,000 checks in the first half of 1990. So this year, the bank is adding restrictions. From now on, no more free deliveries of withdrawals in excess of $20,000. Congressmen will now have to come in and pick up their bags of money just like all the other crooks in Washington.
And now with an update on the military situation, here's Eugene Leibowitz, our Pentagon correspondent.
I wrote to the Pentagon once, but they didn't write back. Caroline?
Thank you, Eugene. Tomorrow, 8 scientists will begin their 2-year experiment sealed inside Biosphere 2, an airtight, self-sufficient environment that's been built out in the Arizona desert. Many of you may remember that they tried this experiment 10 years ago, and it would have succeeded, except someone forgot to poke holes in the lid.
And finally, Theodore Geisel, known to millions of children and their parents as Dr. Seuss, died last night. The author of Cat in the Hat, Green Eggs and Ham, The Grinch Who Stole Christmas, and scores of other classic stories, was 87. So now Dr. Seuss, as we knew him, is dead. He's dead in his feet and he's dead in his head. But his spirit will linger as long as can be in the hearts of them, they, he, she, it, you, and me. Good night, Doc.
That's the way we say it is, September 25th, 1991. I'm Caroline Schlitt.
And I'm Paul Wilson. Back to you, Chris.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Caroline. And thank you very much, Dr. Seuss. You will never be forgotten. Okay, let's get started. In just a bit, we're going to take a look at a political talk show with two of the strangest hosts you've ever seen. And our very own Caroline Schlitt will show us the perky side of prison life. As a special bonus, sitting in with me tonight in the band, we have two very talented musicians. You've seen him with Paul McCartney and Wings on guitar, Mr. Lawrence Juber. And on harmonica, Bo Diddley's main man, Juke Logan. Juke, Lawrence, let's rock 'em. Right now, I'd like to have you give a big hand to one of our regulars who really needs no introduction, Caroline Schlitt. She's here to tell us about a subject that's very close to her heart. Caroline?
Well, thank you, Chris. You know that's true. You might remember a few months ago on the show, I read some letters out loud from my biggest group of fans.
Oh, yeah, sure. You're talking about your prison pen pals.
Absolutely, that's right. And you know, when I did that, it gave me an idea. Now, one thing that Chris can tell you about me, I don't like to sit on the sidelines. I like to get into the game.
You don't have to tell me that. You are a first-string doer, Caroline.
Well, Chris, I've really gone and done it this time. But seriously, you know, everyone in Hollywood has their cause. And mine used to be the rainforest, but they don't exactly make their meetings easy to get to, so I've decided to shoot for something a little more convenient. You remember that movie, Scared Straight?
Oh, yes, of course. The Oscar and Emmy award-winning film that featured lifers at, I believe it was Rahway State Prison, who told their stories to kids and literally scared them straight.
Yeah, I think that's the one. Anyway, on invitation, I visited the Lifers Club at Chasmo State Prison. And what I did is I brought a video crew with me because I wanted to come away with a message for my second biggest group of fans.
Ah, well, that would be the 8th grade boys.
Yeah, you got it, mister. So.
Anyways, let's take a look, okay?
Okay.
Roll it.
Okay, let's start by telling our names. I'm Caroline. And you are?
Cram
Okay, now that's odd because they told me that your name was Feverclot, but I guess Cramit must be your nickname or handle, huh? Is that what your friends call you?
Ain't got no friends.
Correct that, Feverclot, okay? I am your friend, all right? And you have to remember, in fact, I just had a thought. You know something? I told you to correct that, and we are in a correctional facility. So, oh, tone it down, Caroline. You know, we're gonna start to, oh, you're friendly. Okay, that's good. I'm gonna talk to someone else now. Let's give a big free people hello to Wild Beef. Do you have anything to say to our video audience, Wild Beef?
Yeah, I got something to say. I'd like to say something to my wife and her boyfriend who set me up. Ain't no prison in the world can hold Wild Beef. I'm coming to see y'all real soon.
Well, there ain't no holding you back now, is there? Okay, so to the two that he's talking to, throw another kebab on the barbecue because Wild Beef's coming to visit. And do me a personal favor, and this is me talking to both of you now, huh? Be nice to him. He's been in here a few really...
14!
14 years, wow. Okay, I'm gonna go talk to someone else. Now, out of the two of you, which one of you is Scarhead? Now, see, that's odd. Why do they call you Scarhead?
Because I put a scar on his head.
Oh, that's confusing. So then, you must be Corky, and I want to get this right. Scarhead owns you. You, sir, are guilty of friskiness in the first degree. We ought to tack on 5 more years for that one.
I'm gonna kill you.
Oh, like you aren't already, Captain Silly.
No, I'm serious. I'm gonna kill you.
You're fun. Lifers, they ought to call you lifers of the party. In fact, that makes me think, I'll bet you all are very fun to party with, huh?
I'm gonna party with you.
Okay, not right now, though, because we have a very important message. So, you might want to frisk him because I think I felt something. Now, we've come to the important part of my video. Young boys who are watching, special attention now. Please, come on. Sure, we've all had a very good time. But even the bestest times, be they with family, be they with friends, be they with felons, are learning times. So, let's learn something, okay? Come on. Let's focus, guys. Come over here. Are we happy to be here? Should young boys do everything in their power to stay out of this place? And by this place, I mean all jails, not just Chasmo State. And now, Wildbeef, would you look at the camera, please? Thank you. It's just going to help what we're doing next. What we are going to do next, in fact, is everyone, in their own words, is going to say something to the camera. So let's start with you, Feverclot. Come on, what do you have to say?
Yeah, you keep away from this place, fellas, unless you're real pretty.
You've been in here a long time. Boys aren't pretty. Okay, Wildbeef, anything you'd like to say?
Get out my face.
Did you hear that? Because it's very important. He said, get out my face, meaning get out of my face. Do not be near my face. Be out there running free. Don't be in here with me. Translation, Wildbeef cares. Now, Scarhead, you have any ideas for young boys?
Oh, yeah, I got some real nice ideas.
Maybe you want to write that down. Might be easier. And now you, Corky.
Stay away, kids. It's not that fun.
Did you hear that? This is where it gets important, guys. Okay? What Corky said is key. It's not that fun. Let's take that everywhere with us. Well, that was a heavy moment. All right, we're pretty much done here, and I understand that you all have a little present for me. I hope it's one of these neat uniforms, but I won't be choosy if it's not. And also, I understand that you asked that we turn off the cameras and turn off the lights for this, and we will honor that request. So let's all take time, say goodbye, everyone. Stay out of here, huh? Okay. You might want to frisk him, because I felt something again.
Powerful stuff, Caroline.
You know, I kind of started to miss him already.
I believe it. Thank you very much. 8th grade boys are really lucky to have a friend like you.
Thanks, Chris. That means a lot to me.
Thank you. Okay, now a word from Miller Genuine Draft Light. Big draft taste comes to light.
Something only hidden cameras could see. 2 weeks in the lives of two men whose only difference is the color of their skin. And Mario Cuomo says he isn't running for president.
Why aren't you running?
Could he change his mind? Find out. Watch Primetime Thursday.
Good evening and welcome to Face the Issues. Tonight's discussion, the disintegration and restructuring of the Soviet Empire, a godsend to world order or a mortal threat to peace in our times. My guests are, on my right, Dr. Erwin Drake, a frequent visitor to the show, professor of political science at Stanford University. On my left, joining us for the first time, Francis Dugan, Deputy Foreign Affairs Advisor for the Keck Institute. I'm Paul Wilson, and this is my little friend Slappy. Dr. Drake, let's begin with you.
Very well, Paul. In my opinion, the Soviet breakup is simply going to result in a dangerous and unpredictable hodgepodge of self-serving novice states. And I, for one, am already longing for the good old days of Cold War security.
Well, that doesn't surprise me, Erwin, considering it's hardline conservatives like you who made a career off the Cold War.
No, Franny, come off it.
Francis, you're speaking a bit out of turn here. Now, Slappy, is there a rebuttal you'd like to put in here? Well, I guess it's all right to go ahead.
Well, as I was saying, Dr. Drake may feel that the Soviet people's long overdue right to self-determination is undeserved. I clearly feel that it is the greatest single political event of this century.
On the contrary, Francis, I am surprised that even you would be that naive.
Go ahead, you have the floor.
Well, no, I just didn't want to cut off my learned little colleague here, Slappy. Anyway, oh, stop it. Stop it. As I was saying, borders within the Soviet Union were drawn without sovereignty in mind. Now, dissolving the Union will only inflame territorial tensions, I would think, yes.
But you must admit that the breakup has weakened the power of the Soviet military establishment.
Yes, Slappy, that is quite true. Very good point. But at the same time, let's keep in mind that destabilization on this scale ultimately threatens our own security, especially, my friend, when you take the nuclear factor into account.
Oh, I agree. Yes, that is a good point, Erwin. Francis, do you have something you'd like to say about it?
Excuse me?
Your turn to speak, Francis. Do you have a rebuttal?
Well, I'm sorry. I thought this was a serious news show. I had no idea that I was going to have to talk to a puppet.
Now, listen. There's no need to deride Slappy just because he disagrees with that hackneyed liberal drivel that you like to call an opinion.
Excuse me?
You heard what I said. How dare you question Slappy? Why, he has more intelligence in his little finger than you have in your entire hand.
Here, here.
Well, you are obviously insane. I am sorry, but I do not wish to be a party to this political...
Please, don't go. Please, sit down. Forgive my friend. Do not let his irresponsible temper interfere with our progress here. If grown adults cannot come together in a public forum and peacefully debate the issues of the day, then where have we gone as a democracy?
Indeed, indeed.
Down the crapper, that's where, Slappy. Paul, please. I may not agree with what you say, but I will defend your right to say it. I apologize on behalf of my friend Paul. Now, please, Paul, try to act more responsibly. All right. That's better. Now, Francis, would you care to continue?
Well, do I have to talk to him?
No, not if it makes you uncomfortable.
Well, all right, Slappy. For you, I'll stay. As I was saying, the Soviet breakup offers the entire world opportunities we could have never dreamed of before. You